welcome to Tales of Honor Podcast, a podcast dedicated to telling the true stories of the Congressional Medal of Honor. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tales of Honor Podcast. I'm your host, Christoph Ambrosch. Today's episode 75. 75, that is. We're cruising right along. Tonight's episode is being brought to you by the Bearded Detailer. The only thing I'm going to say about the Bearded Detailer this time is shirts. I'm very happy that thebeardeddetailer.com is where you can find our Tales of Honor shirt. It is a tri-blend shirt. Anyone who's ever wore a tri-blend knows that it's the best. It's the best of the best. I'd like to thank those who have placed an order for a shirt so far. You can get one too. They're not all gone. Go to talesofhonorpodcast.com. It is hosted by the Bearded Detailer, and you can pick up your shirt today. Anyone who buys a Tales of Honor podcast shirt, well, here's what's going to happen. The Bearded Detailer is going to take 50% of the profits and donate it to the Congressional Medal of Honor Society. Yeah, it's that good. And if there's anything else on the site you'd like, just peruse around there. It's got lots of good cleaning supplies and OEM parts. Use the promo code TOH10, and that's going to get you 10% off your order. And that promo code will send 75% of the profits to the Congressional Medal of Honor Society. Good stuff. Without the Bearded Detailer, this podcast would not be going. So thank you very much to the Bearded Detailer, where your dirt is his business. And now, a tale of honor. James A. Gardner was born on the 7th of February, 1943, in Dyersburg, Tennessee, where he attended and graduated from Dyersburg High School in 1961. He then joined the U.S. Army in Memphis, Tennessee in 1963, and was eventually stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, with the 101st Airborne Division. James got married to Joella McManus 1 month before deploying to Vietnam with the 1st Battalion Airborne, 27th Infantry Regiment, 1st Brigade of the 101st Airborne Division. It was his actions on the 7th of February 1966, his 23rd birthday, that would earn him the Medal of Honor. The citation reads, "For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, First Lieutenant Gardner's platoon was advancing to relieve a company of the 1st Battalion that had been pinned down for several hours by a numerically superior enemy force in the village of Mai Cain, Vietnam. The enemy occupied a series of strongly fortified bunker positions which were mutually supported and expertly concealed. Approaches to the position were well covered by an integrated pattern of fire, including automatic weapons, machine guns, and mortars. Airstrikes and artillery placed on the fortifications had little effect. First Lieutenant Gardner's platoon was to relieve the friendly company by encircling and destroying the enemy force. Even as it moved to begin the attack, the platoon was under heavy enemy fire. During the attack, the enemy fire intensified. Leading the assault and disregarding his own safety, First Lieutenant Gardner charged through a withering hail of fire across an open rice paddy. On reaching the first bunker, he destroyed it with a grenade and without hesitation dashed to the second bunker and eliminated it by tossing a grenade inside. Then, crawling swiftly along the dike of a rice paddy, he reached the third bunker. Before he could arm a grenade, the enemy gunner leaped forth, firing at him. First Lieutenant Gardner instantly returned the fire and killed the enemy gunner at a distance of 6 feet. Following the seizure of the main enemy position, he reorganized the platoon to continue the attack. Advancing to the new assault position, the platoon was pinned down by an enemy machine gun and placed in a fortified bunker. First Lieutenant Gardner immediately collected several grenades and charged the enemy position, firing his rifle as he advanced to neutralize the defenders. He dropped a grenade into the bunker and vaulted beyond. As the bunker blew up, he came under fire again. Rolling into a ditch to gain cover, he moved toward the new source of fire. Nearing the position, he leaped from the ditch and advanced with a grenade in one hand and firing his rifle with the other. He was gravely wounded just before he reached the bunker, but with a last valiant effort, he staggered forward and destroyed the bunker and its defenders with a grenade. Although he fell dead on the rim of the bunker, his extraordinary actions so inspired the men of his platoon that they resumed the attack and completely routed the enemy. First Lieutenant Gardner's conspicuous gallantry were in the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. James's tour in Vietnam was supposed to end 1 month after his death, but he was buried 1 week later in his hometown. His wife received his Medal of Honor from the Secretary of the Army in a ceremony at the Pentagon on the 19th of October, 1967. In 2009, James's sister gave his Medal of Honor to his former unit for display at the division's headquarters at Fort Campbell. James A. Gardner is buried in the Fairview Cemetery in Dyersburg, Tennessee, Block 16, Lot 26, S12. And that was A Tale of Honor. Thank you so much for listening to Tales of Honor podcast. And if you like this podcast, please be sure to leave a nice review and a good rating and tell your friends and family, co-workers, random people, DMV workers, and snowplow drivers. You can see more information on Facebook, Instagram, and at talesofhonorpodcast.com. If you have any questions or comments, you can send them to talesofhonorpodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, I'm Christoph Ambrose. Thanks for listening.